could see myself in a pit trying to get out, just feeling so heavy that when I would make one step, the weight would just pull me back down.
Oh, but just ask them. I'm here talking about Mia Copa on February 23rd, and that's what I'm most excited about right now. I think that's that, and that's, yeah, and I'm
Michelle Williams just dropped a bombshell that's shaking up Destiny's Child fans everywhere. She exposed Kelly Rowland's secret jealousy towards Beyoncé, and people can't stop talking about it. Everyone knew there was some tension in the group, but Michelle just connected the dots in a way that got folks heated. She hinted that Matthew Knowles, Beyoncé's dad, was pulling strings behind the scenes from day one. So, now people are asking, was Kelly really bitter this whole time, or did Matthew purposely stir up drama to keep his daughter on top? See, drama between Kelly and Beyoncé ain't nothing new. Fans been noticing that weird vibe for years.
What do you think about your friend Beyonce? She's like your sister. You guys literally grew up together. She's stepping into country.
So proud of her.
I know, but were you surprised, and what do you think about it?
I'm so proud of her.
Yeah.
So happy for her.
Yeah, it's incredible.
But after Michelle's comments, people are realizing this jealousy might go way deeper than they thought. According to Michelle, Kelly's been fighting forever to get out of Beyoncé's shadow but just couldn't break free. But hold up, it gets even wilder. Michelle said this whole thing was never just about talent or fame. Word on the street is Matthew Knowles was playing puppet master the entire time, making sure Beyoncé stayed the main focus. Fans always whispered that Matthew sabotaged Kelly's career behind the scenes to keep Beyoncé shining. Now, Michelle's basically confirming it's true. But why is Michelle spilling all this tea now after nearly 20 years since Destiny's Child split? That's what got people side-eyeing her motives. Here's why it's shady.
The sisters dropped a whole new couple of songs, and it's my understanding that Renaissance 2 may or may not be country-based. And then there's a rumor going around that Renaissance 3 may be either rock-based or a DC reunion.
that is her business to talk about. But just ask them. I'm here talking about Mia Copa on February 23rd, and that's what I'm most excited about right now. I think that's that, and then and I'm.
Kelly just announced she's going on tour with Brandy and Monica. Two R&B Legends fans been dying to see live together. But here's the catch. Kelly ain't headlining. She's just an opener for them. Let that sink in for a second. Kelly Rowland, Destiny's Child royalty, opening for artists who are pretty much her equals. Fans are split. Some think it's disrespectful, while others say she should be grateful for the gig. And it gets even more humiliating. She's not opening alone. She's sharing that slot with Money Long and Jamal Roberts, two rising acts who aren't even in her league. People are now side-eyeing everything, and Michelle just threw gasoline on the flames with her confession about Kelly's jealousy. But here's the messiest part. Word is, Kelly's been quietly refusing to hit the stage with Beyoncé on her tour. Yup, Beyoncé personally asked Kelly to pop out for a few shows, especially the big ones like Paris, but Kelly allegedly said no. Michelle claims Kelly turned it down out of pure insecurity. She didn't want to deal with people dragging her for not being on Beyoncé's level again. You know how the internet does, always comparing them, saying Beyoncé's a better performer, that Kelly can't sell out stadiums on her own, all that messy talk. Now it's giving real tension behind the scenes. Michelle just confirmed what fans been thinking forever. Kelly's been feeling some type of way about Beyoncé for years, and Kelly herself low-key admitted it before. She once said those constant comparisons messed with her head bad after Destiny's Child split. She felt jealous watching Beyoncé's solo career blow up while she was still figuring out her lane. In her song Dirty Laundry, she said, "While my sister was on stage killing it like a moo effa, I was enraged, feeling it like a moo effa, burning in a cage. You would never know what I was dealing with. She was up, I was down. No lie. I felt good for her. But what do I do now?" That says it all. Beyoncé's debut album, Dangerously in Love, dropped, while Destiny's Child was still together and sold over 300,000 copies first week, going #1 and winning Grammys. Meanwhile, Kelly's debut, Simply Deep, dropped a year earlier, sold 77,000 first week, peaked at number 12. Good numbers, but nowhere near Beyoncé's. The second Beyoncé's album dropped, comparisons went crazy, and it was game over. After Michelle exposed Kelly's jealousy, fans started connecting the dots even harder, and Kelly's recent behavior started looking extra shady. Remember that Today Show drama? Headlines said Kelly threw a diva tantrum and stormed out because her dressing room was too small. Page 6 claimed she bailed at the last second because the space wasn't up to her standards. But insiders say that was all cap. The real tea is Kelly left because the interviewers kept bringing up Beyoncé instead of focusing on her. She had one rule, keep it about her movie with Tyler Perry, not Beyoncé. But they kept pressing about Beyoncé's project's music legacy, everything except Kelly. And she wasn't having it. Can you blame her? This ain't the first time it's happened either. Every time Kelly tries to get her shine, the media flips it back to Beyoncé like clockwork. So when Michelle exposed Kelly for still feeling salty about those comparisons, fans locked in real quick. Kelly walking out of the Today Show wasn't about no dressing room drama. It was years of being overshadowed finally catching up to her, and she snapped. She dipped out quiet, no yelling, no fuss, just left them scrambling to find a last-minute replacement. That's when folks really started wondering if Kelly's still holding deep resentment or if the Today Show was just plain disrespectful. But that ain't the only time Kelly's checked out over Beyoncé questions. Let's not act brand new. She's been shutting down these interviews for a minute now. There was another time she straight up called the interviewer out, told them to cut the BS, and made it crystal clear she wasn't there to talk about Beyoncé. And honestly, who can blame her? Every time she sits down for an interview, they flip it to Beyoncé, acting like Kelly ain't got her own music, her own projects, her own legacy. It's like the only storyline they care about is Beyoncé, and Kelly's just the side character. But messy interviewers aside, here's where it gets spicy. Michelle didn't stop there. She let it slip that Kelly's been carrying deep resentment for years, all because Matthew Knowles allegedly favored Beyoncé over the rest of Destiny's Child. Fans already heard the whispers about Matthew playing favorites, but the way Michelle laid it out, way deeper than anyone thought. Now everything's starting to make sense. Word in the street says Matthew Knowles sabotaged the group from the inside just to set Beyoncé up as the breakout star. If you've been paying attention to how everything played out over the years, the signs were always there. Destiny's Child was unstoppable. Hit after hit, sold out tours, award shows, everybody loved them. But behind the scenes, it was chaos, lineup changes, lawsuits, backstabbing. And when the dust settled, who was always front and center? Beyoncé! Fans been side-eyeing Matthew for years, saying he manipulated everything to keep his daughter on top, even if it meant sacrificing the group's unity. Remember when Latavia and Latoya got kicked out? They didn't even know until they saw the Say My Name video. Imagine that, finding out on TV that you've been replaced. And who called those shots? Matthew. He was the group's manager, but also Beyoncé's dad. So people started questioning if he was really loyal to Destiny's Child or just to his daughter. Over time, the group went from 4 girls to 3, and suddenly the narrative shifted. It wasn't about Destiny's Child as a powerhouse group anymore. It was Beyoncé front and center, with the other girls fading into the background. And look, nobody's saying Beyoncé isn't talented. She's that girl, period. Renaissance proves it. She's the moment, and she earned her spot. But the way Matthew allegedly positioned her had fans wondering if Destiny's Child ever stood a real chance at longevity, or if the plan was always to break her away. Even Michelle hinted at that favoritism, how certain members got pushed aside. And Kelly? We already know about her jealousy, but with all this coming out, it's looking less like jealousy and more like frustration from being overshadowed for so long, which is real. At this point, fans are convinced Matthew was the puppet master, clearing the path for Beyoncé's solo reign, even if it meant destroying the group that put them all on the map. And honestly, it explains why Kelly wouldn't want to put herself through the drama of being compared to Beyoncé all over again. So now, with Michelle spilling the tea, these old rumors are bubbling back up. The real question is, has Kelly been holding on to all this jealousy, or is the internet just twisting it like always? And let's not forget, if what Michelle's saying is true, did Matthew really sabotage the group? Or was he just making sure his daughter made it to the top? One thing's for sure, two things for certain. This story is far from over. Drop 1,000 comments below, smash that like button, subscribe for more, and don't even think about leaving, because the next video's receipts are even messier than this. See you there!